Hey, this is Mike with Riding in the Ozarks, where we talk riding, rallies, gear, and wrenching. In this episode, we're going to put this DR650 back together and take it for the first ride. If you haven't watched the other videos in this series, you can go back and find a link to those in the description below, where we found this bike, but it was not running and had been parked for 4 years, and what it took to get it started. Alright, this is going to be my first ride. I know the front brake works, just the back brake got to get started. Rear brake works. We'll go uphill first. Man, this thing feels kind of small. First impression to my Harley. I mean, it's tall to reach the ground, but body position's a lot different. I'm used to my arms being almost level. Here I'm pointed down. Bike seems to be idling okay. I don't want to get out on the main roads just yet, so we're going to cruise around this neighborhood. Make sure I'm not going to run into a problem in the first 2 minutes. Clutch feels good. Front brake feels good. Rear brake feels good. She'll lock it up. Bike's not dying when I clutch it, so idle seems to be okay. I'm sure it'll get better as it gets warmed up. Well, there's 45 mile an hour and a 35, and I wasn't even really getting on it, so. I definitely feel a lot more wind and wind noise in my ears with no windshield here. I gotta keep track of my gears too. No more looking down cheating to remember where you're at. So yeah, first ride. Bike seems to be running pretty good. Definitely leaning's a little different. Alv, it's more nimble. Feels a little different than the Harley, that's for sure. Oh, no self-canceling turns. We got to remember that too. Considering it's set for 4 years, seems to be running good and doing good. I don't know how it's supposed to run. I don't have anything to compare to. I wanted something that I could take out and ride in the woods, gravel roads, Forest Service roads, things like that. We have some property I wanted to be able to go out to and ride around on, and I originally didn't plan on doing much riding outside of my local county and local area. When I started looking, for a 650, I'm thinking, from what I've seen, people do a lot of traveling on these things, and so maybe I could turn this into kind of an adventure bike where, yeah, I can ride it on blacktop roads when I want to, but if I want to get off the road, gravel roads, things like that, Forest Service, I could do that. But for an adventure bike, I might want a windshield, small one at least. Are there add-ons for these? I haven't done any research. I know I'm asking you all to do the research for me and tell me, but if you've got something you've used to make a DR650 more of an adventure bike, You know, windshield, bags, storage, larger fuel tank. You know, leave me a comment. Give me a link to what you've done. If you've got a video on it, post that or share it with me. I'd appreciate it. I know there's carburetor upgrades and tweaking the air box and that kind of stuff, and I don't know if I'm going to do that just yet. But probably, you know, first things first, if I'm going to buy it, storage is going to be the first thing, whether it's some kind of rear fender bag or side bags or a tank bag or something. $50. Definitely going to have to get a different helmet set up. I've got a dirt bike helmet, but I didn't have camera and audio set up for that helmet, so I didn't want to run that right now. That mirror's loose, we're going to adjust that. But this half helmet ain't going to work without windshield. I get way too much wind noise. This half helmet's my helmet set up for moto vlogging on the Harley where I have a windshield. So definitely different helmet setup and mic for this. Now I have a 3/4 helmet, street helmet I could wear with this, and I may just set that up. Huh. Okay. That single cylinder is different too. I don't know where my power is, what level of RPMs. For 4 years now I've been riding a Street Glide with a whole lot more cc's, like 1,000 more cc's than this. I don't know what an XL 250 would be like. Originally when I started hunting for a dual sport bike, I was thinking that's what I was going to look for, was like an old 70s XL 250 that I could ride on the highway and take off-road, and you know, I know it won't get over much over 60 and stuff, and that was probably, you know, 60 or 70 to be, you know, the most you'd want to ride it at. If that, I don't know, maybe I'm overestimating. I never had an XL 250. When I was a kid, my uncle did, and I always thought it was kind of neat, but I thought all motorcycles were neat. You know, that may be one of the greatest gifts my dad ever gave me, was a love for motorcycles. I think we started me on real motorcycles. We never had a mini bike or nothing like that, so I didn't get started real young, but I got started at 12 with a Honda 175 Elsinore. The rain is on its way. I'm probably getting wet before I get there. That's okay, that's what bikers do, is get wet when they ride in the rain. This will make for a good first ride. I'm a little leery of knobbies on pavement still. But the rain coming is motivation to pick up the pace a little and see how this thing will run. Well, we're going to take it out on the interstate. That's the fastest way to where we're going.
At this point in the video, I dropped the audio levels way down. The wind noise is really bad on the interstate as I rolled around on the DR650. I apologize for some of the poor audio in this clip, but I was using a Tascam DR650 hooked up to the microphone that I normally use, and I had the input levels too high, and as the wind noise would increase, I would raise my voice, and then it caused the mic to clip and overmodulate, and we just ended up with some poor audio. We'll make sure for future videos that we're more prepared for that in this kind of environment and this kind of setup, and do a better job on that. Thanks for bearing with me though.
Well, I have to say, it definitely feels more comfortable to ride it at 55 mile an hour than 75, 80 mile an hour. Not that I feel like I'm overly pushing it. It's just not, well, it's not what it was built for. Well, if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. If you do that YouTube thing, subscribe down below. And as always, thanks for your support. Keep on riding.